That brings us to broad topics for the month, starting with the world title picture. As we mentioned, Randy Savage was meant to main event Final Resolution. When he pulled out, they then didn't really have a main event for Final Resolution.
No, I don't think we ever really ended up with one. I don't know why they didn't just do a 4-way.
Or just do Monty. Just announce the Monty match and do the Monty match.
Listen, are we getting into the Monty stuff already? Or let's just save that for the actual matches.
So, December 10, Impact featured Monty Brown against Glenn Gilbertti, the final match of this Disco Inferno run, Liam.
Rest in piss, bitch. No, I mean... he's not exactly looking tip-top bread at this point, is he?
Yeah, he gets pounced, he loses immediately. It's literally 20 seconds long. Crowd go apeshit.
Best match of Disco's entire career.
It might be the best match of his TNA run. I gave it 3 stars because it's a 20-second match where he gets pounced. So thumbs up. Good job. You nailed it.
Good pounce too.
Yeah, pounced him out of his boots. He even did the pose. He hit the pose. He did the rope thing after the pounce before he did the pin and everything. Like, Monty at this point, just in this match, it's like, oh, just pull the trigger on this dude. Come on.
More importantly than Monty Brown, this is time for our Remember When segment for Glenn Gilbertti.
Mm-hmm. Our remembering of Disco's tremendous 2-year run in the total nonstop action.
Hey Garrett, do you remember Sports Entertainment Extreme?
The good days of sex.
Do you remember Glenn Gilbertti, World Champion Contender?
The month of May 2003, we all remember it. A whole month built around the Disco Inferno as the number 1 contender, where they did the big Raven match, and they're like, that's a good formula to announce the match a month in advance and really build to it. Who are we going to do it with next? Glenn Gilbertti.
Do you remember that jersey that you were really obsessed with?
Oh, it's fake Man United jersey. I do remember that. The cheapskate son of a bitch who couldn't afford. The man who's been on national television and probably earned hundreds of thousands of dollars couldn't afford to buy himself a real Manchester United jersey, so he had to be a cheapskate and go out and buy a fake one.
Garrett, do you remember when he was a leprechaun?
The classic era with the leprechaun rugby match. What was the name of that match? Look at the Irish weapons match. There you go. Was that it?
Yeah.
The leprechaun rugby match is a better name. I'm going to stick with leprechaun rugby match.
Garrett, do you remember the NYC?
No.
And that was Glenn Gilbertti's TNA run.
A tremendous run. A run for the ages. A run that people will remember in their hearts long into the future. I actually found it funny this month. There's a 6-man tag that has AJ Styles, Sonny Siaki, and Elix Skipper in it. And I was like, at one stage, all of these people were members of Sports Entertainment Extreme together. And that couldn't feel further from like this era of TNA. It's like that's just
it's a different company.
Yeah, it's like that is the kind of history that this company will just never acknowledge again. That like Styles and Siaki used to be like they were a relatively associated act at one stage, and Skipper was in Triple X part of Sex as well, and it's just a thing this company will never bring up again ever. It's just we've moved past that. It didn't happen.
I think this is how we do all of our goodbye segments from now on. I just rattle off different highlights from their run.
The things you can actually remember.
Yeah, because that means they were good enough or memorable enough for me to retain. Someone who notoriously doesn't retain anything.
To be fair to the Disco Inferno, he did contribute one very big thing to this run.
Mm-hmm.
He invented Ultimate X.
That's very true. I thought you were going to be like Goldilocks.
No, to be fair to him, he's the man from whom the Ultimate X was the genesis, because I think he was the guy who's like, what if we do a ladder match without a ladder? Which is ultimately what became Ultimate X. And that came from the brainchild, the strange mind of the Glenn Gilbertti.
But don't worry, fans of Glenn Gilbertti. If you want to hear us talk about more Glenn Gilbertti, then just wait for the Days of Thunder crossover episode, which will be coming out any day now.
Yeah, we're not done with the Disco. In fairness, he does pop up again in 2007 for one match. And then he pops up here and there from 2017 to 2019. So we're not done with Disco on the main show either. But I do appreciate how Monty pounced him out of TNA and he wasn't seen for 3 years.
Oh, and maybe you'll appreciate a little taste of Glenn Gilbertti and Scott Steiner.
Sure.
You won't.